The washlet control panel on a Japanese public toilet has more buttons than the average American TV remote, and most Americans press the wrong one first. That moment tells you something important, not just about Japanese bathrooms, but about what Americans have quietly accepted as normal. Here is what Japanese toilets actually expose about American infrastructure assumptions, and why every American visitor gets caught off guard the same way. Segment 1. The heated seat nobody warned you about. You walk into a restroom at a Japanese train station or shopping mall, sit down, and the seat is warm. Not uncomfortable. Just warm, like it has been waiting for you. Americans freeze. Literally pause. Because in the United States, a warm toilet seat means someone just left. It triggers an involuntary social alarm. In Japan, it means the seat has a low-level heating element built in, and it is standard in homes, hotels, and most public facilities. The contrast is not just about technology. It shows that American bathroom design has not changed its baseline assumptions in decades. Heated seats exist in the American market. They are just treated as a luxury upgrade. In Japan, they are the floor. Segment 2. The sound button and what it says about American privacy design. On the washlet panel, there is usually a button with a musical note or a small speaker icon. Americans often press it expecting music. What plays is the sound of flushing water, a continuous loop designed to mask bathroom sounds. It is called the Otohan, which roughly translates to Sound Princess. Japan built a dedicated button for acoustic privacy. Americans deal with the same human anxiety in a completely different way. The courtesy flush, wasting a full tank of water to cover sound. Japan solved the same problem with a speaker and a single button press. The American solution wastes water. The Japanese solution wastes nothing. That one button is a quiet indictment of how Americans handle infrastructure problems, by burning more resources instead of redesigning the system. Segment 3. The bidet function and the paper math Americans never run. The washlet bidet function is adjustable, water pressure, temperature, angle, and in many models the position of the nozzle itself. Americans who try it for the first time usually either set the pressure too high immediately or avoid it entirely. But here is the practical detail that changes the conversation. Americans use significantly more toilet paper per person than Japanese households, and the washlet is a direct reason why Japanese consumption is lower. This is not a lifestyle lecture. It is a supply chain and cost story. American gas stations, highway rest stops, and public restrooms stock enormous quantities of paper. Japanese public restrooms stock far less because the hardware does the work. The infrastructure investment is in the fixture, not the consumable. Americans have built an entire retail and logistics chain around a product that a better toilet largely replaces. Segment 4. Cleanliness as a public standard, not a private choice. Walk into a public restroom at a busy Japanese train station during peak hours. It is clean. Not clean for a public bathroom. There is usually a small log sheet on the door showing the last inspection time, sometimes updated every 30 minutes. American public restrooms at airports, gas stations, highway rest stops are understood by Americans themselves to be a gamble. You hope for acceptable. The gap is not about national character. It is about whether cleanliness in a shared space is treated as a maintained system or left to chance. Japan treats the public restroom as part of the service. American retail and transit spaces treat it as a liability. The Japanese standard did not happen by accident. It is staffed, logged, and held to a visible schedule. Americans accept far lower standards in shared spaces because the system was never designed to hold anyone accountable for the result. This is what Japanese toilets actually expose about American daily life. Not that Americans are behind, but that Americans have normalized a set of baseline assumptions: cold seats, paper dependency, acoustic workarounds, and unreliable public cleanliness, without ever stopping to question whether those assumptions were necessary in the first place. Japan did not invent the toilet. It just refused to stop improving it. If you want to keep seeing everyday Japanese objects reframed as a mirror on American life, the kind of comparison that changes how you look at things you stop noticing, this channel does exactly that every video. That is the reason to stay. One question before you go. Japanese vending machines sell hot canned coffee, umbrellas, and fresh eggs on the same street corner where a comparable American neighborhood would have nothing at all. What does that gap say about American retail? That is the next one.